This will go on page 35 when you're done. So we have application of linear functions. So we have a lumber yard that charges 50 cents for each cubic foot of sand you buy plus $6 delivery to deliver the sand, and we're going to complete the table. So here we should know this is our slope, and then plus $6 would be our y-intercept, but we're going to do the actual process first. So we have 50 cents per 25 cubic feet plus $6. So I'm just going to use the calculator. I'm going to let the calculator do the calculations for me. So we have 0.50 times 0.50 times 25 plus 6. So this is $18.50. Remember, it's 50 cents because we're dealing with money. I'm going to do the same thing for the next one. 0.050 times 50 plus 6 times 75. Same thing times 100. So again, I'm going to let the calculator do the calculations for us. So, and I don't need the 0 in front. I'm just putting there to show you that you can have it. You don't necessarily have to have it. That needs to be 75. Remember, we're dealing with money, so we do need that 0 at the end. And then our last one is 100. So this is 56. So what would our rule be? Our rule would be 0.50. You can have a 0 in front of that, or you don't have to. X plus 6. So now we're going to let the calculator really do the calculations for us in y equals. So we're going to go to y equals, and we're going to type in 0.50 x plus 6. Now I'm going to go change my window settings. So second window, so the blue button window, and I'm going to change my independent to ask. And what this allows me to do is to specifically ask for 10, 80, and 170. So now I'm just going to plug in those numbers. This is 11, this is 46, and this is 91. So I'll give you all a minute to make sure that you all have that down. Okay, so what is the rule for this table? Well, we just said it was right here. So the rule is, alright, so what is your independent and dependent? Well, in order to find that out, we're going to have to go back up here. What I need y'all to remember is your independent is always going to be your x values. So this is your independent. And if you'll also remember, this is also your domain. Same thing, well, not the same thing, but on this side, y'all should remember that this is your range, and this is actually your dependent. So when it asks for your independent variable is x, which stands for the number of cubic feet. That little 3 means cubic. Okay, and then your dependent is your Y, which is your total charge. So what is your change in Y over the change in X? What does that really stand for? Your slope. So what I need y'all to remember is not only is this technically 50 cents, this is 50 cents so 50 cents charged per cubic feet. Alright, so what is the what is the equation of this table? Your equation is very simply Y equals with your rule. So our rule on this one was, so it's Y equals 0.50x plus 6. So letter F says, how much would you pay to get 80 cubic feet delivered? So 80 was $46. How much sand would you get delivered for $17.50? Well, to do that, we're going to actually have to go back into second window and change your independent to auto. And we're going to have to go look on the Y side for $17.50. So $17.50 is 23. So how much sand would you get? 23 cubic feet. Letter H says for us to write an equation stating that you paid $100 to get some sand delivered. So this is telling us our total charge. So we're going to go plug it into this into this equation. So our total charge was 100. And then you just plug in the rest. And normally what they ask you to do is they ask you to work backwards and try to figure out how much sand you would be buying for $100. Alright, so this next question asks, would the graph represent an increasing or decreasing function? Well, think about it. As your cubic feet go up, what happens to your cost? So they're both rising, so that means that this is an increasing function. Letter J says, what would be a reasonable X value for this situation? Okay, so if it's asking you for reasonable X values, I need y'all to know that basically it's asking, what's the domain? Okay, so let's think about our domain. We need numbers that are greater than 0. And that's numbers. Let me rewrite that. So numbers greater than 0. And what would a reasonable Y value represent? So this is asking us for our range. And our range would be numbers greater than 6. And why do I know that it's 6? Because just for the delivery fee, it's going to be $6. So the numbers have to be greater than the delivery fee. Okay, again, this is going to go on page 35.